Zelensky, who's going to be in Saudi Arabia to broker that peace deal finally between between Russia and Ukraine, and that is expected next week as soon as Monday. We'll get you all the details. First, let's just get you the headlines. US and Ukraine officials to meet in Saudi Arabia next week. Zelensky will be in Saudi Arabia on the 10th of March. Peace plans to be discussed in Saudi Arabia, and the State Department of the United States says that Zelensky is serious about peace talks. The United Kingdom says about 20 countries could join Ukraine. This is going to be a coalition in order to these 20 countries which are willing to help Ukraine, is what UK officials are saying. And Trump delays some tariffs on Mexico and Canada, the 25% tariffs that was to come into effect. Well, now these tariffs have been put on hold at least till the 2nd of April. Prime Minister Modi likely to make official visit to Sri Lanka in the month of April. The reports are suggesting that the President of Sri Lanka has invited the Prime Minister to Sri Lanka, and multiple projects are expected at the time of Prime Minister Modi's visit, which is expected as soon as the first week of April. Elon Musk's SpaceX loses another rocket. SpaceX Starship test flight turns into mid-air failure. Donald Trump signs order to establish strategic Bitcoin reserve. Let's get you a top story, and that's Ukrainian President Zelensky says that he's traveling to Saudi Arabia next week, where he will be talking as far as brokering that peace deal is concerned. Well, also the United States is saying that Zelensky is very serious about peace talks, and that is why these talks are going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia between Ukrainian and US officials, aiming at ending the war. That will take place on the 10th of March is when Zelensky will be in Saudi Arabia, is what we're hearing. The Ukrainian president says he will work constructively with Trump to reach a fast and lasting peace. The U.S. ambassador to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, has also said that the idea was to get down to the framework for a peace agreement. At the summit in Brussels, the Ukrainian president called on European leaders to support and steps that he's outlined for building a full and fair end to the fighting that's been going on for 3 years.
President Zelensky sent a letter to the president. I think the president thought that it was a really good, positive first step. And from that, we're now in discussions to coordinate a meeting with the Ukrainians in Riyadh or even potentially Jeddah. So the city's moving around a little bit, but it will be Saudi Arabia. And I think the idea is to get down a framework for a peace agreement and an initial ceasefire as well.
It appears, with that note, that President Zelensky understands what's at stake, that we are here to help him, that there is one person who can bring those parties to the table, and it is President Donald Trump. The Secretary has understood that from the beginning. This is a united understanding that this has got to end, and these are men who understand what America can do to help that come to an end. And I would believe, with what has been said before, that in fact, if the President and the Secretary believe that President Zelensky is serious and that we can move forward, they have stated, in fact, that we would.
Right. This is, of course, in regard to that very crucial meeting that is coming up in Saudi Arabia of President Zelensky, who will be in Saudi Arabia. Now, according to UK officials, about 20 countries are interested in joining a coalition of willing to help Ukraine. It's not clear whether every one of the countries would necessarily send troops, but some could provide other support. The plan, spearheaded by the United Kingdom and France, was set out by Prime Minister Starmer at the weekend summit of 18 European and Canadian leaders, and would work to uphold any ceasefire in Russia's war on Ukraine. And to know more on this, we have Spencer Critchley, senior journalist and author, joining us live from California. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us. Sir, when United Kingdom is making this announcement in regard to the kind of support that Zelensky is getting at this time, but at the same time, Zelensky seems to be making a U-turn, saying that he's going to be making a very fast effort to bring in peace, and that is why he's going to be having that meeting in Saudi Arabia as soon as the 10th of March. What position is Zelensky in to be, calling the shots, or to be determining what is really going to happen, in the days ahead? Or is Zelensky now going to be towing the line?
I don't think that Zelensky is close to calling the shots. I would say that what he is doing is occupying the moral high ground. He is the leader of a democratic nation that was invaded by a corrupt dictatorship that has shown repeatedly it will do that at every opportunity. And until recently, President Zelensky could rely on the steadfast support of the United States, like democracies have always been able to rely on the steadfast support of the United States. Now, unfortunately, our president has decided to ally himself with Vladimir Putin, who is an authoritarian gangster who loots his own country to make himself rich while repressing his people to keep them quiet. So I don't think that it's a case of President Zelensky calling the shots as the victim of a barbaric invasion that has seen one war crime after another, the deliberate targeting of civilians, the abduction of hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainian children, stolen from their parents, given to Russian parents, and being re-educated in Russian propaganda. So I would hope that the United States comes to its senses, or at least the Trump administration comes to its senses. We have no reason to hope for that, unfortunately. And in the meantime, Europe is going to have to try to fill the void, the moral void, not just the strategic void, but the moral void left by the Trump administration.
Right, so how is the world perceiving Donald Trump's administration, given the fact the whiplash leadership that we're seeing, whether it was the talks with President Zelensky or even the tariff war that's continuing, and Donald Trump seems to be taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back in every direction?
Yes, I mean, chaos defines him. It defined him in his first administration. It defined him throughout his business career, which was marked by one failure after another, until he started to actually make money by pretending to be a successful businessman on the TV show The Apprentice. And now he's found ways to profit from the presidency of the United States. I think that people around the world are recognizing Donald Trump for what he is, which is both corrupt and incompetent. I think that many of the people who voted for him, who were not fooled by his tens of thousands of lies, voted for him because they thought, yes, he may be corrupt, but maybe he'll be effective and maybe he'll get things done that I want to get done. But what he keeps showing is that he's not only a crook, but he's a bumbling crook. And this on-again, off-again trade war, which hurts nobody more than the people of the United States, including Trump's own supporters, is just the latest example of that.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on NDTV. Also, of course, like Spencer mentioned, that it has been an on and off tariff war, and of course, Canada has been describing that there's just too much unpredictability and chaos coming out of the White House, with the president now putting a halt as far as tariffs are concerned to some of the goods coming out of Mexico and Canada, at least for the time being, and that is up until the 2nd of April. And to know more on this, we have Maha Siddiqui joining us. Maha, while Trump has postponed tariffs for some products until April, Canada has been indicating that its retaliatory tariffs will remain in place for now, though it's delayed a second wave of levies.
So the second batch of retaliatory tariffs that were to come into force, which was about $125 billion worth of goods, that has been paused by Canada. But the first batch of $30 billion worth of goods, the tariffs on that from Canada, which was the first step it took, remain in place. This is because Canada believes that they want the complete rollback of tariffs, that is 25% tariffs that have been imposed by Donald Trump, the U.S. administration, and this piecemeal effort that is being made at the moment, many believe is only because of the shock waves that Donald Trump's decision sent in the stock markets, though Donald Trump has denied that, saying that he's not even looking at the markets and how they are responding. But at the moment, the confidence level, the consumer confidence is low, considering that people are bracing up for inflation. And this is in United States States as well, considering the heavy amounts of tariffs that are being imposed now on the imports from Mexico and Canada. So for the time being, this is a temporary and a partial pause that we are seeing. However, 62% of the goods going from Canada to the United States will still be under the tariffs because they are not in compliance with CUSMA, which is the trade deal between US, Mexico, and Canada. So only those that are complying with CUSMA have been exempt from the tariff. So 62% products still under the tariff that Donald Trump had announced for Canada. For Mexico, the relief seems much better than what Canada has received. And this relief too, as I was pointing out, is just temporary because the 2nd of April is when what Donald Trump calls equal reciprocal tariffs will go into effect from the White House, which means that tariffs will be matched with the tariffs from other countries. And this will include many more countries than just Canada and Mexico.
Right. Thank you so much, Maha, for breaking it down for us. Pleasure always having you with us early this morning on NDTV World. Switching tracks now to Prime Minister Modi, who's expected to visit Sri Lanka as early as the first week of April on the invitation of the President of Sri Lanka. The visit is likely to strengthen the ties as far as the two countries are concerned and boost people-to-people partnership. He could be in Colombo. He could stop in Colombo on his way back from Bangkok, where he will be attending the summit meeting that's going to be taking place from the 2nd to the 4th. And this will be Prime Minister Modi's 4th visit to Sri Lanka since 2014. Now, during the President of Sri Lanka, who was making a visit to India last December, both leaders had pledged to enhance cooperation. Also, what was really discussed was the reassurances that were given as far as Sri Lankan soil will never be used against Indian security interests. And that is an assurance that was given by the President of Sri Lanka during his visit to India. Let's just get you the latest in regard to the UAE ambassador to India hosted a special iftar at his residence during the holy month of Ramadan. In an exclusive conversation with NDTV's Ghazali, he spoke about the deepening ties as far as the two countries are concerned, while also emphasizing the UAE commitment that the country has made to religious tolerance and mutual brotherhood. Listen in.
I'm joined here by the Ambassador of United Arab Emirates, and you just hosted Iftar evening today at a time when the world is seeing a lot of turbulence. What is the kind of message you want to convey from here?
That the UAE will always be, has always been and will always be an oasis of peace, of compassion, of tolerance, of acceptance. And this is why you have people from all walks of life joining us here today at the Iftar. We literally had to add 2 tables this year to be able to accommodate a higher number of individuals who have confirmed attending the Iftar, and this will always be a key event that takes place in the diplomatic community here in India.
And how do you see the India-UAE relations building up? We have seen high-level visits from both sides happening. Where do you see and what kind of sectors you are exploring? Because India is exploring new avenues and new sectors. How does UAE look towards this entire build-up?
So we're expecting a high-level visit in April. This has already been published in the media, and we're all excited. We're all looking forward to it. In terms of the relationship, it will continue to be economic and trade relations, emerging technologies, data centers, AI, everything new, everything that is coming up is part of the conversation as soon as senior officials from both governments sit and talk, because this is the kind of relationship that we have, that we're always ahead of the game, we're always ahead of everyone else in discussing bilateral cooperation in all sectors, existing ones, emerging ones, and anything that we expect to come up in the future. I'm hoping that also this will bring change when it comes to the aviation file. As to me and to the UAE, it's part of the ecosystem that will push the relationship even further.
Last question. UAE has always been seen as a symbol of religious tolerance, brotherhood. Even the Abrahamic house there in UAE has become one of the symbol of that kind of brotherhood which you nurture and which you propagate. Any last message for the evening today?
This is what the UAE is about, and this is what the UAE-India relationship is about. We are close and strategic in every single aspect of the relationship, and every time you see something that has been shaped or that has been planned, or something that has come up like the Babs Mandir in Abu Dhabi, you should think, what is the next thing that they're planning to do? Because that's always exciting for us. and should be exciting for you as well.
Thanks for speaking to
Coming. Thank you.
Well, let's just switch tracks now to get you the latest in regard to Israel has rescued 10 Indian construction workers held for over a month in a West Bank village after being lured with a false job promise. Palestinians seized their passports, attempting to use them to cross over into Israel. The workers are now in a safe location while their employment status is being reviewed. About 16,000 workers from India reached Israel this year itself in order to, be employed in construction work. And this is out of those 10 construction workers have finally been, in fact, they were being held and they have been rescued by Israeli forces. With that, we're slipping in a short break. Back with a whole lot more. See you on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025, they're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti, Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
The evolution of Bollywood probably has stopped somewhere or has been weakening, that we can't see today some blockbuster movies in theatres particularly.
No point in making films that audiences don't want. I was the fool who tried to put it all together. It should be an interesting film as well. It should hold emotionally.
Your journey in Indian cinema has been about passion, perseverance. What next?
If I want to go back to the small screen, then maybe something for OTT might just be the right thing, which there is a wide audience.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This week on India Ascends.
Failed policies and geopolitical chaos push Islamabad to the top of the 2025 Global Terror Index. Bangladesh's new student-led political party promises a second republic. And is Europe's socialist dream now dead? NATO, climate deals, and the end of an era revealed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025, they're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti, Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
The evolution of Bollywood probably has stopped somewhere or has been weakening, that we can't see today some blockbuster movies in theatres particularly.
no point in making films that audiences don't want. I was the fool who tried to try and put it all together. It should be an interesting film as well. It should hold emotionally.
Your journey in Indian cinema has been about passion, perseverance. What next?
If I want to go back to the small screen, then maybe something for OTT might just be the right thing, which there is a wide audience.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This week on India Ascends.
Failed policies and geopolitical chaos push Islamabad to the top of the 2025 Global Terror Index. Bangladesh's new student-led political party promises a second republic. And is Europe's socialist dream now dead? NATO, climate deals, and the end of an era revealed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump signs executive order creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve capitalized with seized crypto assets held by the United States government. Trump calls it a digital fraud. This is a Fort Knox, promising not to sell Bitcoin in the reserve. Treasury and Commerce Department starts with budget-neutral acquisition strategy. Critics warn of conflicts of interest as Trump's family has crypto ties. Crypto czar David Sachs estimated early Bitcoin sales cost taxpayers $17 billion. The man behind an iconic Canadian beer ad is back 25 years later with a new take on patriotism. Jeff Douglas became a national sensation decades ago after starring as Joe Canada in an ad that featured back in 2000 the rant and popularized the slogan, "I am Canadian." On Wednesday, a new video appeared on YouTube featuring the same man back on stage, this time defending Canada from the attacks of US President Donald Trump before launching into a similar string of posts about his home country. The tagline being, "Are we perfect? No, but we're not the 51st anything." Let's just switch tracks now to Zimbabwe, that is officially applying to join BRICS, the economic group currently led by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Zimbabwe's foreign minister announced that the move during his visit to Moscow alongside Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, calling BRICS one of the most important platforms for economic cooperation. He also said Zimbabwe is eager to join any system based on mutual respect and also sovereign equality. He added that Zimbabwe is working to meet all requirements set by the group and will wait for a response based on consensus within BRICS. In other news, nearly 2 months after an explosion sent a flaming debris raining down on Turks and Caicos, well, it is SpaceX that launched another mammoth Starship rocket on Thursday, but lost contact minutes into the test flight as the spacecraft came tumbling down. The 403-foot rocket blasted off from Texas a little before sunset, and SpaceX got the first stage booster back at the pad with giant mechanical arms, but engines on the spacecraft on top started shutting down as it streaked eastwards for what was supposed to be a controlled entry over the Indian Ocean half a world away. The contact was lost, but the spacecraft, as it went into an out-of-control spin, the space-skimming flight was supposed to last an hour and couldn't release the mock satellites into space as planned. Now, NASA's SpaceX Crew 10 mission is set to launch on the 12th of March, sending a new crew to space to explore deep space health and conduct scientific research. The astronauts will embark on a mission to advance the understanding of the efforts of space travel on the human body. Now, a private US lunar lander touched down near the moon's south pole, but flight controllers can't confirm if it's upright or fully functional. The lander, called Athena, belongs to Intuitive Machines and carries key science equipment, including an ice drill and 2 rovers. While the descent seemed smooth, controllers lost clarity right after landing. Well, let's just get you the latest in regard to China, that's planning an ambitious space mission to bring back rock samples from Mars by 2030. This is a top researcher from China's space agency saying that this will be part of the 3 mission. The goal is to collect samples and return them to Earth, a first for humanity. Sun says the mission faces massive challenges, from overcoming Martian gravity to designing a smooth return to Earth. This plan was announced during China's annual political meeting in Beijing that has also promised faster development in science and technology projects. And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Thank you so much for watching NDTV World.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards 2025, they're here.
Congratulations to those who are being honored, recognized.
Vikram Pava, Rahul Bharti, Maruti Suzuki, the Global Lifetime Achievement Award to Sri Ratan Tata.
Motorcycle of the Year.
Compact Car of the Year.
The evolution of Bollywood probably has stopped somewhere or has been weakening, that we can't see today some blockbuster movies in theatres particularly.
No point in making films that audiences don't want. I was the fool who tried to and put it all together. It should be an interesting film as well. It should hold emotionally.
Your journey in Indian cinema has been about passion, perseverance. What next?
If I want to go back to the small screen, then maybe something for OTT might just be the right thing, which there is a wide audience.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
This week on India Ascends.
Failed policies and geopolitical chaos push Islamabad to the top of the 2025 Global Terror Index. Bangladesh's new student-led political party promises a second republic. And is Europe's socialist dream now dead? NATO, climate deals, and the end of an era revealed.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, NDTV's prestigious Auto Awards.
Hello and good morning. You're watching NDTV's Breakfast Show. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy coming to you from Mumbai. We have fresh developments as far as several stories are concerned. A fresh attack by MK Stalin, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, against the centre over language row. Besides that,